This morning I want to present my findings on crime in business. I've dealt with many cases of crime in business. I predominantly represent employers, and I found an interesting trend, and I want to discuss that and maybe present a solution as I see it. The first thing that I note is that individuals that are caught performing some form of crime, usually involving theft, in their own acknowledgement, they are unable to perform at a level that allows earning to fulfill their needs, and they need to supplement their lives, their financial requirements by stealing. This in about 40% of the cases is openly communicated to me in an honest format as an explanation as to why they're doing it. Many people in that process apologize profusely for their conduct, but also point out that this is something that they need to do in order to sustain their financial commitments. Now, I suggest that businesses change strategy to a certain extent in order to ensure longevity and success in the business. And what I suggest is a change in the business recruitment process. And you need to have a recruitment process and a process of for employees in the business that is based on criteria on capacity and competence. If your business recruitment process is based on any other criteria other than capacity and competence, you are doomed to failure. Competency and capability are the key factors. Now, in order to ensure that you have the correct people in your business, my suggestion is, and I've seen this work time and again, if you utilize a capable, competent, professional recruitment agent to bring you candidates for you to interview, you stand a lot more, your prospects of success in your employee-employer relationship are a lot higher. If you're going to use the process yourself, I suggest you use assessments along the following lines. In terms of, there are 5 tests that I have established are of value. The first test is performance assessment test. You've got to have performance assessment tests. These are problem-solving tests. There's no point in having people inside your industry or inside the employees that are unable to problem solve. It's a critical process. The second is personality tests. For example, Myers-Briggs. There's no point in having an introvert working in an external sales position, or vice versa, an extrovert working in a back office analysis position. You need to have the right fit of personality. The third one is cognitive ability. Now, cognitive ability is directly linked to performance assessment tests or problem solving, but it's the speed at which this can be done. It's pointless having somebody in your employ that can solve a problem but takes 8 hours to do something that needs to be done in 2 hours. The speed, the cognitive ability of a person is critical. Job knowledge. If you have people working in for you that do not have the right experience, you're wasting time and money. You're not conducting business correctly. It's fine to employ a junior person with suitable qualifications, and you give them the job knowledge, but then they come in as a junior position and learn the job. But job knowledge is critical. And then situational judgment. This is where most people don't have any success in their business if they don't have situational judgment skills. And employees, what am I talking about here? I'm essentially saying ethics and morality. Situational judgment. Are people going to make the correct judgment in a difficult situation? Situational judgment, ethics and morality. Now, I've done quite a lot of research on how do you break this down to one single point? What is the one single indicator that is scientifically based without any question as being correct? The one indicator that you can have is IQ. Now, for 30 years, we've been told that IQ is not relevant. Certainly in the last 20 years, it's almost something that's never discussed, but my research shows that IQ, if you use IQ as an indicator, you are in for a very good proposition of employing good people. Now, the study that I looked at, and I know that it might seem slightly strange, but it's the US military, United States military. The United States military has a problem that it never has enough people volunteering to join the military. And they have to continuously go out on recruitment drives in order to get enough people into their military machine. There is also legislation based on extensive IQ research that shows that, or the legislation in the military is that a person with an IQ of lower than 83 cannot be employed in the military, US military, and it's based on their assessment is that a person with an IQ of 83 or lower does not have the ability to be trained to do even a menial function. So they won't employ anybody with an IQ of 83 or lower. Now, we talk about IQ in guarded terms often, but this is the reality. I'm going to read. I've researched, and I thought rather than me put together words of my own opinion, I'm going to quote a professor who is specializes in intelligence, and his name's Professor Peterson, and he says there are profound and irremediable differences in people's cognitive performance. Those differences have a solid biological and heritable basis. Nobody wants to hear that. They don't want to hear that it is biological, and they don't want to hear that it's heritable. They don't want to hear that it is permanent. They don't want to hear that it is irremediable, and that it actually has a practical consequence. And no wonder they don't want to hear it. Nobody wants to know that a person with a low IQ is not capable of doing anything, and there's nothing you can do about it. No amount of training can help. Right, so Professor Peterson goes on to say that in a country where the IQ is of a mean of 98, 10% of the population of that country, which is now the United States of America, their IQ mean is 98. He says that 10% of the population of the United States is unemployable because they have an IQ of 83 or less. Now, for your own reference, I suggest you go to a website called IQ Research, which shows the highest to the lowest IQ per country, the highest being Hong Kong with a mean average IQ of 115, I think it is, or 105, I'm not sure what it is, and the lowest is Papua New Guinea, which has a mean IQ of 56. Well, let's just take an example of, for example, a country that might have the mean IQ of, say, 75, which is halfway between the United States and Papua New Guinea. If a country has a mean IQ of 75, that means that 65 to 70% of the people in that country have an IQ of less than 83, and are thus unable to be trained at anything, and will require, will not able to be, they are unable to be employed gainfully. You need to look at your company, you need to look at your employees, you need to screen and make sure that you only, if you want to be competitive, and you want to cut it, and you want to dominate your market, you need to make sure that you have the correct performance assessment tests in place, the correct personality test, the correct cognitive ability, the correct job knowledge, and the correct situational judgment. If you have moral, hardworking, intelligent, well-skilled people, your business will fly. If you don't, your business won't, and you'll be calling someone like me in to deal with the crime in your business and get those criminals out of your business.